Hi everyone, it's Sue back again, and I'm here with day 2 and day 3 of December daily. So day 2, not a lot happened, so I am just going to document the wrapping paper that I have chosen for this year. So I've done the same thing, I've kept the same fonts, I've just mixed them up a bit. As you can see on this one, I did, because I had a lot, I did it in a smaller font, but I've used this font in here and this font that's here in the title. So I've just switched it up a bit so that it's all looks different, but it's sort of all ties together. So I took a big photo of our wrapping paper, and I'm just going to put this onto one of the pages that I've already cut out. This one's day 2 is going to be pretty easy. Not a lot to do really. As I said, I've already typed that out. I'm just going to cut that out and then stick that on here. So that's the back of that one. And I think I'm going to mat this, possibly, if I can find some paper that will complement this, and just maybe put the number 2. As easy as that. So all right, so I'm just going to get into it, cut it out, stick it down, and be done with it, and then we'll go on to day 3. So once again, I've done it onto matte photo paper, and I don't mind the difference between the stark white and the off-white. Really doesn't concern me. And I'm just going to replicate this again and do a little bit of the faux stitching as I've done on the other page. So I'm just going to tape this down. So once again, I'm just going to use these faux stitched rub-ons. And same thing, I'm going to add a bit of ink around my white page. I've just got some different paper pads here. I'll just see if I've got something that I can maybe mat this with. And I just had a thought what I might even do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller than this size. So this is 8.5 high by 7 inches. So I think if I cut it, just need to think about this. What have I got this at? 6. Actually, this thing's 7.5, isn't it? No, it's 7. Maybe if I cut on that red line there. So what I'm thinking is just putting this down as a mat. Now this, I'm going to sit on here, like so, and I'm going to actually cut these out so they sit over the top of that. If I can find my blade and a pencil. So I'm just marking where to stop cutting so that the photo doesn't slide down any further. So basically I'm going to cut this holly out with my blade. So hopefully this will work. And this is my thought process. Okay, so I just didn't want to cover up that element on the pattern paper. So what I've done is I've just cut it out so that it can just sit on the corner there. I'm just going to ink the white edges there, and then I'm going to ink the edge of my photo and simply just glue that down, and then I'll put the day on there, and I'm going to call this page done. So that's just part of that page there. in there, and then we're going to put day 2 up here. I'd like to try and keep with the craft circle if I can. Originally I was going to put it down here, but since I've cut that out, I think just to balance it, I'll put it up here. Actually, I'm just thinking I may even put one of my envelopes here on day 2, sorry. It's just a few that I've prepared prior to this. I think I'm going to use this one, and I did show this in an earlier video, so I've just added a postcard, Christmas postcard that I have made smaller, and this is from my Porch Prints, I'm pretty sure. And I've just put cheesecloth underneath just to give it a little bit of texture, and I'm just pulling away some of the excess. And this, it acts as a little closure, so it just slips in there. So what I'm going to do is I will add this here, and I'll probably put the 3 on that. I think I'm just going to leave it pretty plain. So I'm going to glue this down. So I'm just having a play around. I don't know what I'm wanting to do here. But I do definitely want to add some of these envelopes in so that I can put just a little something that I'm thankful for on that particular day. So I'm going to go with it and put this one down. Right. So I'm just adding a couple of dots there where I need to punch holes in the envelopes. And I'm also going to do the same here. I could use my template, but I've got this out, so I'm just going to eyeball it and cut these out. So it's fairly plain, but I don't want to take it away from, like, don't want this to be the focal point. I want this to be the focal point and the story. So it's fairly plain, but that's okay. I will add something on the back here, and I'm also just going to trim away a little bit extra of that hole on an angle so that it slides through the ring a little bit easier. Okay, so I might even add maybe like a ruffle. And since we're going with red, we might stick with red. So I saved some bits and pieces of thread from sewing and sewing these ruffles and what have you. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make a little nest here, stick this down, and then put one of these Tim Holtz words over the top. I think I just put always believe. So my boys, Katie still believes, so we don't let her know any differently. And I always say to the boys, if you don't believe, you don't receive. So they're 20, what are they, 22 and 27. So it's very appropriate to go with the wrapping paper. And instead of even an affirmation or something that I'm grateful for, I may even just tell that little story as an extra story inside this envelope about telling the kids that they have to believe to receive. Okay, so I'm just going to punch my holes here, and we will call day, actually I've done that as day 3, haven't I? Okay, so we need to rethink that. This is actually day 2. Okay guys, this is what happens when you don't concentrate on what you're doing. So I'm going to try and get this off as much as I can. I'll add another round to the top of that. And stick the correct date on there. Okay, let's try again. That's the thing though, it's all fixable, isn't it? Okay, so day 2. and we'll pop that in our album. And there we have day 2, and it's all about the wrapping paper. And as I said, now that I've fixed that up, I will pop a little story in here about how I tell my boys, even though they're now 22 and 27, that if you don't believe, you don't receive. So day 2's done. Now we'll head and do day 3. So that's day 2 done. Day 3 is, I'm only going to be doing the back of this photograph. So every story doesn't have to be a double page spread. It's about recording the stories for the month. And as you all know, we don't all do something every single day. You know, that's festive or exciting, and it's about just telling your story for the month of December. So as I said, this one's going to be just a fairly simple one. I got a friend of mine gave me this beautiful bag of little bits and pieces for my junk journals, and I'm just talking about catching up with her and how we've been trying to for a long time. But life's just been crazy for both of us. So very simple story, but one other than going to work. So it was something just a little bit different for the day. I didn't have to start work until after lunch. So we made the effort and organised a coffee. It was short, it was only for a couple of hours, but it was lovely just the same. So hopefully in the future we can catch up more often. So this one is going to be, as I said, very, very basic. I don't think I'm going to be doing too much decorations. And some pages, some stories, they're going to be more elaborate than others, and that's okay. That's what our days are like, aren't they? Some days are busier and some days aren't. So I've just cut that really crooked. I was going to try and cut it with my scissors, but might just try and trim it up. That's a bit better. So I just seem to be having a theme happening here with the, I set the text box up in my computer, and originally I was going to sort of cut within the black lines, but I like how it just keeps it all nice and tidy. So I'm going to continue with keeping those black lines there, I think. Really not sure. I think I might match the photo and possibly just get this down. And I'm liking the whole faux stitching thing that I've been doing as well, so I may even do that. So I need to find some paper to match the photo with, and I've just dragging my trolley around. Moved it out of the way for a second. So I've got scraps here, and I like that red tinsel that Eleanor has added to that bag. So, and this paper here, it's got all this grungy looking, vintage looking marks on it. So I quite like that. I'm thinking that, or is that too dark? This is the one that I was going to use before and then ended up using the back side of it. I don't know, maybe I do a double mat. I don't know why I'm overthinking it so much. Okay, so I think I'm going to add the photo to this lighter one first and then put the darker matte on the bottom. So I'm going to add a little bit of ink around this as well. And then I'm just going to matte it, I think, on that. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay. I'm just trying to line it up with those. Oops, that's where it's going now. It's stuck down with the spots, just so we can see some of those spots around the border. And we'll cut it about there. Right, so this is, it's the photo, and then there's the journaling. And I'll probably just put my day 3 here. I think that's what I'm going to do. So a really, really simple page, not much decoration to it. But like I said, it doesn't have to be big and elaborate. It's just about documenting the story of each day. And once again, you don't have to be literal with your days, you know, so you can have them out of sync. They don't have to be literally what you do on that particular day. Alrighty, so I'm just going to grab those faux stitching rub-ons again and just put a little bit around here. So this is the other sheet in that pack of faux rub-ons. I can't find the other one. I have no idea how I could lose the other one. Well, actually, I do know how I could lose it because I've got such a mess. But I'm sure they will turn up. These will just work the same. So I'm not sure that I'll use the hearts, but I mean, I can cut them up and use them anyway. Here's a star, a couple of stars. Okay, I'm not going to use them on this one. I'm just going to add a couple of pieces of stitching. And that's that. I'm going to punch a craft round, and I think I'm just going to pop the number 3 on top of that. think I'll put it on the photo. Yeah, I like that. I always put way too much glue on them, don't I? Okay, lucky it dries clear. All right, so that is day 3. Okay, and I need to ink just around this edge here too. I'll just give you a quick overview. So this was day 2, talking about the wrapping paper. I ended up doing the envelope with the day 2 on it, and I'll pop a little story about how I say to the kids, even though they're, 22, 24 and 27, if you don't believe, you don't receive. So that'll be just another little bit of hidden journaling, so that going through this in years to come, we can bring that out and have a little bit of read of that. Taking a big photo of the wrapping paper, and then this is day 3. So very plain, very simple. The story's done, and now we're ready to go on to day 4. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm really loving this. I'm feeling really motivated about December Daily this year, so I'm really keen to get into it. So I will see you in the next video, which will be my story number 4. Thanks for following, guys. Take care, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of crafting time in. See you soon.